Okay, I think this will be too long. It does not draw from Jewish texts, but it draws from Jewish life. So that's okay. We didn't have to do it on the Dvar Torah. It's probably not following the correct things, whatever. We had to do a sermon on Israel and the U.S. This is 2 full pages. It's clearly is going to be over. So I'll start at the 1 minute mark. And I know if I've hit 6.5 minutes, I know it's too far. Yeah, I think I'm going to trim up. Shabbat Shalom. I think when it comes to long, intractable problems, there are often many opinions, even more stories, and even more answers provided by everybody involved. It seems like that when we face the current divisiveness of American politics, and it seems like that when we consider the long-standing conflict between Israel and its closest neighbors, the Palestinians, in Gaza and the West Bank. So I don't want to add my opinion. I don't want to add my story, and I don't want to add an answer. I'll just tell you what I do these days as I navigate a world of frightened, angry, frustrated, stubborn, vengeful, certain, and confused people in my life on these topics. This America, this Israel, this president, this war. Usually I ask lots of questions and I listen. And in the end, I understand someone else better. I understand why they hold that opinion. I understand why they believe or have written that story in their head to explain a big, weird, unknowable world. And I understand why they want to sell me on whatever particular answer they've decided, they've picked. I hear about and listen to people I know who belong to a group in town called Doikite, Heerness in Yiddish. The word harkens back to an early 20th century Eastern European Jewish philosophy that Judaism can be lived in the here and now and does not need to hearken to another place, the Holy Land, Eretz Yisrael, to be good and Jewish and holy and help the world. Doikite is LGBTQIA plus friendly, radical progressive friendly, and anti-Zionist friendly. What exactly does anti-Zionist mean to them individually? I haven't poked much into whatever harms or hurts they've felt because I know that anti-Zionist Jews are on the outs with most of their brothers and sisters these days. But I know from a good friend of mine who recently left a Jewish book club because Jewish book club. That he couldn't find any words or prayers or ways to be critical of Israel today in the synagogues in town. He feels it's wrong to do this much killing, especially when it's his own religion and people and Jewish nation that's doing the killing. I listen to and ask questions of a rabbi in Topeka who is publicly and daily loud and proud about his pro-Israel and pro-Zionism on X and Facebook and in the synagogue. He believes a strong Israel and a stronger United States of America are better for the world. Cynicism has not dampened his passion for America's dream of being a light on a hill, or Israel's dream of being a light unto the nations. The anti-Semitism and anti-Zionist rhetoric drives him up the wall. I listened to a young confirmand at a Reformed temple explain why she didn't want to go, and her parents weren't going to make her go, on a Washington, D.C. trip to Reform Judaism's Religious Action Center, which a few months later my Topeka rabbi called a rubber stamp for the Democratic Party. Her parents didn't agree with the politics embedded in the session descriptions and titles that seemed to skew left, even though the program was ostensibly open to anyone. I listened to a young Hebrew student of mine in her last year before her bat mitzvah rant angrily during one evening's lessons about how she wanted Trump to die. She wished him dead. I listen and ask questions and argue with my best friend, a Catholic returned to the fold who thinks federal government is the pits and power should be returned to the local and state level. We should mind our own business in the world and let people live as they see fit. He thinks the American political system is broken, too few people represent too many, and moneyed interests have fully taken over and will never be unseated. I listened and asked questions a few years ago of my colleague who voted, volunteered, and did everything she could for the Johnson County Democratic Party and the state and national Democratic elections upwind of it. She believed and believes that the national government can and should do good, that whatever fight there is isn't over, that the dream of Democratic capital D leadership can do us all good. I just listen to what people are saying. I ask questions to clarify what they say, and I seek to understand why they say and believe what they do. What experiences did they have that lead them to hate or love America? Hate or love Israel? Hate or love this politician or that religion or this celebrity influencer? And I find it helpful when something has to be decided, when I really need to do something. All this listening and asking questions, and trying to walk a mile in the other human's shoes, trying to understand, I think helps me make a better, centered, wise decision. So you can try it too if you want. Listen next time, even if you disagree. Ask questions to find out why that person believes things you think you don't believe. Try to understand what they've seen, heard, read, and experienced to bring them to this point. And of course, ask yourself if maybe they're a little right or maybe a lot right. And they may not be. That's okay. At least you will have listened well, asked sincere questions, and tried to understand. Shabbat Shalom. Okay, so that's about 8 minutes, which means, was it 1 minute? So 7. So it's about a minute and a half long. I'm going to go cut a minute and a half out of this.